All right, back here in Gaylesville, and Coach, you guys had a tough game last week. You guys were leading that game. You've been playing good all season. Hey, you guys played good and played with effort last Friday night, but just take us back to last week and what all transpired in that game, because it's a tough loss, but I mean, you got to be proud of your kids' effort, and y'all had a lot of good things too.
So leading into the game, getting ready for at practice, one of our better players, Jackson Tell, pulled his hamstring. He still played in that game, but he was maybe 50% going into the game. And about 3 plays before halftime, he fell on his shoulder, dislocated his shoulder. Didn't say a word until halftime, but he didn't come back after that. And we were leading 22-14. Makes you really wonder, how the game would have played out if he would have stayed in the game the whole time. But Valley Head's, they're a good football team. Number 5, their quarterback is a different player, man. I mean, there's not a lot of kids that I've seen that I would say that definitely could, go next door and play at Fort Payne or something like that. But a kid like that could. I mean, he's just a very explosive player. So,
Coach, people don't know that maybe watching this around the state, when you guys lose a guy, you're essentially losing 3 positions: somebody on special teams, somebody on offense, somebody on defense. Talk about the significance of that. And yeah, you got other guys that can step in there and play, but this kid's a little bit different. It's leadership. It's all the intangibles and 3 positions on the field.
So Jack is our quarterback. Jack is our safety / linebacker. Jack is our kicker, and Jack is our punter. So I mean, just kind of like what you said, that's four things that we've got to find somebody else to do. Coach Knapp did a great job of finding and rotating bodies on the offensive side. Defensively, we replaced Jack with a 9th grader who had ankle surgery 4 months ago, and he's coming back and he can play, but he's not back to where he was before he hurt his ankle. So,
again, you're asking a freshman to step in and play against an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, that's where you really see small ball come in.
Yeah.
Playing 1A. We have that next man mentality, but then again, we can't, because you're replacing the star of the team with somebody who's a 9th grader.
Who's just coming off ankle surgery.
And you know what? He played great for him, but, in that kind of ball game, it really puts you at a disadvantage.
And kudos to that young man for stepping in there.
Absolutely.
I bet his heart was beat. His heart rate was probably 200 beats a minute.
His name's Sean Poss. He's a good kid.
He's good.
He's got a good head on his shoulders, but if you know Sean, he's very intense, and he's going to be a fantastic player one day. He really is. But, he was nervous, and rightfully so. I would have been nervous.
I would have been nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd been scared to death. I played at Etowah during that era. My last year was my 9th grade year, but I remember coming up seeing those guys, and I was like, man, I don't want no part of these cats right here.
Yeah.
That was a different Etowah, man. It was crazy. But Coach, you guys are the top guys. You deal with this all. I mean, this is y'all's MO. Y'all deal with this every year. It seems like your numbers are low. 1 or 2 guys get dinged up. Guys are playing out of position. You kind of got to get some duct tape, put some things on it. But talk about that. But now, at least we know where we're at. And the young man's getting an MRI today. We don't ever talk about injuries on average. Coaches are welcome to. We just never do it, because I don't want a coach to go back and say, hey, man, we didn't even know he was hurt.
Yeah.
So you saying that's fine, so we can talk about it now. He's under an MRI, and, God take care of him and everything as well. But that's y'all's MO here. Talk about that and how, hey, this is just part of the process here at Gaylesville.
So we have a kid that's on crutches. I don't know the specific injury. I think his timetable when he hurt it was 6 to 8 weeks, and we're about 3 weeks into that. He was a starting fullback, starting defensive end. We've had 2 kids go out with shoulders. The 2 kids that went out with shoulders, they dislocated their shoulder. They didn't finish the game they were in, but they came back the next week. And one of them, he played against Valley Head, made some tackles, and shoulder very obviously still bothering him. But he knew, if I don't play, then a 9th grader or an 8th grader is going to have to play. So he sucked it up and played. And then you have Jack, who's getting his MRI done, read to him right now. So we don't know the results on that. But he was the one that got hurt, number 9. So you see these players go down, but then you see how tough our kids really are. I mean, I feel like, I know all coaches are supposed to say this, but I feel like we have the toughest group of kids, you know, in the state.
Yeah.
You know, Jack played 3 plays with a dislocated shoulder and never said a word. He ran the ball once and never said a word to anybody about his shoulder being dislocated or hurting, even in pain. And so you see that, and you see the kids who get hurt and they come back and they try to play. You know, it really shows you how tough the kids are here, especially.
Man, that's good. But even from a coaching staff, it makes you have to be innovative. You can't go in here with this. I went to a Nick Saban coaching clinic. He said, yeah, well, guess what? He's got the best money he can buy. Yeah. You guys have to work with the guys that want to come out here at this school and play. And then y'all are at one of the lowest number-wise in a school in the state. So it ain't easy, but it makes y'all better as coaches. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. You know, that's probably something that I feel like our coaching staff is really good at. As soon as we realized what was going on, got on a whiteboard, we started writing names down, moving positions. And that's the thing. You know, if one kid gets hurt, we don't have a kid in most of our positions where we just plug somebody in that spot. What happens is you move a corner to outside linebacker, the outside linebacker to safety, or safety outside. You know, I mean, you have to move 4 or 5 kids to just fill that one missing piece. So
connect the dots.
Yeah, and our coaches do a great job of that. Coach Knapp's great at that. All of the rest of the assistants are really good at that. So I mean, it definitely makes us better as coaches because we're constantly having to think on the fly. But to me, I've coached at a 5A, and it was a little bit more boring in that sense of, you know, the kid goes down, well, you have your sub right there.
Right.
You know, here.
And he's probably a junior or sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, the senior gets hurt, you put in the 17-year-old junior. So
yeah.
It's different.
Who's been in the program 3-4 years.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, that totally makes sense. Coach, it don't get any easier. You're playing one of the hottest teams in 1A. They got up until last week, maybe this week, they had a Braden, their running back, was leading the state in rushing. I think he had 487 yards in 2 weeks. So it don't get any easier. And they just beat a team in Locust Fort that hadn't beaten 34 years or something like that. But we're talking about Appalachian here. But what have you seen from App on film? They look a little bit different animal than they have been the last couple of years.
They are massive. I mean, I don't know what kind of weight program they're on, but I mean, they're
on the Neil Wington special.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good. He's done a great job. They have only gotten better since he's been there. I mean, they're really good. They're really good up front. Number one, the kid that you're talking about is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would probably go as far to say if he's not the best, he's second best in our region by far.
Yeah.
I mean, the way, if you watch the film against Locust Fort, he just kind of took the game over himself.
Yeah.
Making incredible plays. And so, you know, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that our kids embrace.
Yeah.
You know, they're not scared. They're not going to shy away or turn away. They're going to buckle their chin strap and play the game, which I commend them for it.
And look, one thing y'all can do here, and y'all replicate it, you make it look easy, is y'all bring physicality. How important is that in a game like this where that team wants to impose their will? They want to get out there and make you quit, but your guys don't have a lot of quit in them over here.
It's really important for the style of football that we play that we are like that. And so I think it really benefits us that our kids have that kind of mindset. And when you play against somebody who also wants to do that, it helps us because it makes it a little bit harder on them, you know. Because what we talk about when we're on offense is that dam's going to break eventually. You know, we're going to keep doing it and the dam's going to break. Well, teams sometimes have a hard time making our dam break because our kids just don't give in. You know, what we see a lot of the times for us on the defensive side of the ball is that our kids get tired because they don't come off the field. So if the dam's going to break, it's going to be late in the fourth quarter. But, you know, that physicality is important. It's kind of disappearing from football, but, you know, Appalachian, us, and all of the teams in our region really still kind of live by that rule.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I was a kid, my mom used to say to me, I'm gonna beat this out of you one way or another. Like, when I was doing the wrong thing, she used to tell me that. And that's what you're saying though. And look, I used to take some whipping, so it'd take her a while to get it out of me, you know. But it's what it reminds me of though, you know, don't give in easy. But Coach, before we all shut these shows down, I always like to kick it back to you to talk about anything program related. You know, it could be, you know, anything from parking to tickets or whatever you'd like to talk about at this point.
You know, I just want to thank the fans, and we've had so many people, different businesses step up and help, you know, feed us, fund the feeding. the pregame. They give the players snacks and things after. We've got a really good booster club. We have a really good parents that are around the program. It seems like for us to be such a small school with such a small community, everybody helps, and I'm thankful for that, because I've seen other programs where the coaches literally have to do the pregame. If they're going to eat sandwiches after, the coaches are making sandwiches for after the game. So to see our parents step up and do that, it really helps us, and it's just good to see. And it helps the kids know that they have fans and that they're loved.
Coach, y'all have to make the sandwiches, upload the game film, wash the jerseys. Y'all got to do a lot before y'all get out of here, don't you?
I've seen it like that, But see, that's the point. When those parents step in and help,
That's right.
It takes so much off our plate.
Oh, yeah. Ain't no doubt. Well, Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us. I know Coach Knapp had some things he had to take care of today, but you've done a fantastic job as always, and very well spoken on your part, sir, and I appreciate you sitting in with us.
Well, we appreciate you and all that you do for high school sports.
Hey, I thank y'all guys so much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.